Why many live sound engineers will get hearing loss. If you, just like me, are working full-time with music and sound, and if live sound engineering is your main occupation, then it's very likely that you will develop a hearing loss. And in this video, we are going to talk about why that is. My name is Per Moneo. I'm a sound engineer, musician, composer and sound artist. Even though I was struck with severe tinnitus and hearing loss a couple of years ago, and now wear hearing aids, I have found ways to navigate my life so that I can keep working with music and sound. And that's what this channel is all about. How to navigate tinnitus and hearing loss as a sound engineer, musician, composer, sound artist or anyone working with music and sound. So why am I saying that many live sound engineers most likely will develop hearing loss? Well, it has nothing to do with the moral preaching about hearing protection or the fact that I myself having hearing loss. And it has nothing to do with the idea that most engineers mix too loud or that many bands have too loud guitar players. No, the reason I'm saying that so many live sound engineers will end up with a hearing loss is simply because we ignore the health recommendations and laws designed to create a safe work environment. Yes, we ignore them. If we mix concerts at sound levels above 91 decibel, then we are at great risk of developing hearing loss. Yep, 91 decibel, it's all it takes. And now you might think that, 91 decibel, that must be wrong. Isn't it 97 decibel or at least 85 decibel that we've been taught? No. Actually, 91 decibel puts us in the risk zone. Please, let me explain. There are rules and recommendations that define what a healthy work environment should look like to ensure that we don't hurt ourselves, get injured or become ill just because we went to work. These rules and recommendations apply to every industry and job, including musicians and sound engineers. What I'm talking about here are, of course, the rules and regulations about sound levels in the workplace. Now you might say that you measure and log sound levels at every concert, staying within the 97 or 100 decibel limit you're supposed to follow, so that means you're safe, right? No. We are not safe at all just because we mix concert at 97 decibel. Because this 97 or 100 decibel limit is made to keep the audience safe, not the musician or sound engineers. This 97 decibel limit is what's called a venue noise limit or concert SPL limit. It's the sound level intended to keep the audience safe during a concert. And the number 97 decibel is based on the assumption that the audience doesn't attend more than 5 concerts per month. They're not exposed to loud concerts every day. But those of us who work with music and sound are exposed to 5 concerts each week, not per month. We attend a concert every single day we go to work. We also do sound checks. We rig, we load in, we load out and make all kinds of noise while setting up a show at the venue. So the 97 decibel limit is not valid for us working with music and sound. Instead, we have to look at what sound levels are safe for us in our workplace. Since there are very clear rules and recommendations for what a healthy work environment should be, these are the rules we have to follow. And these rules apply to every job out there, whether you're working in an office, on a construction site, or like us, in music and sound. In the US, these recommendations are called NIOS, Criteria for a Recommended Standard, occupational noise exposure. In Sweden, they are known as Regulations on Noise, issued by the Swedish Work Environment Authority, or Arbetsmiljöverkets föreskrifter om buller. Each country has different regulations regarding what sound levels are considered safe. Fortunately, many countries are aligning as we continue to learn more about how sound affects us. Here in Sweden, where I live, our regulations are based on the European Union standards, which are also very similar to the recommendations from NIOS in the US. And NIOS stands for National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. These standards state that we should not expose ourselves to sound levels exceeding 85 dBA equivalent during an 8-hour workday. If sound levels exceed that, we must take action. And the easiest action in our field is to either turn down the volume or to use hearing protection. What's important to understand is that for every 3 decibel the sound level increases, the safe exposure time is halved. So if 85 decibel is safe for 8 hours, then 88 decibel is safe for 4 hours, 91 decibel for 2 hours, and 94 decibel for 1 hour. And remember, these exposure times apply to the full workday. So if we stay in 94 decibel for 1 hour, we must be in complete silence for the rest of the day. And if we only count concert time as 90 minutes, plus a quick 30 minutes sound check, the sound levels should not exceed 91 decibel. And even then, we would have to read the stage in complete silence, and that has never happened. So here's the key message of this video. If the concerts we work on stay at 91 decibel equivalent or less, then we're probably safe. On the other hand, if the concerts are louder than 91 dBA equivalent, then we are at risk of hearing damage. More than 91 decibel and the risk of hearing loss increases significantly. Let that sink in. 91 dB is all that it takes. If we ignore these numbers and keep mixing live music at 97 decibel without hearing protection, we need to understand that we are putting ourselves at serious risk. We might think that a concert at 95 decibel doesn't sound that loud and can't be that dangerous. But the facts show that each of those concerts takes us one step closer to hearing damage. If we still ignore these facts and say, "Nah, it's worked fine for me so far," then we are just plain stupid, ignoring what science has proven after years of research. And yet, when I work as a stage manager and meet lots of touring productions, it's extremely rare to see sound engineers protecting their ears. And I'm talking about pop and rock shows in concert halls mixed at around 97 to 99 decibel. And that leads me to no other conclusion that many live sound engineers will develop hearing issues, sooner or later. And if we look at the facts, 18% of the general population has some degree of hearing loss. About 7% wear hearing aids. These numbers represent the general population, so why wouldn't they apply to sound engineers? We as sound engineers are exposed to far more loud sounds than the average person, which means the numbers should be even higher for those of us working with music and sound. And yet, I've only ever seen one live sound engineer wearing hearing aids. It's like We assume that sound engineers are immune to loud sounds just because we're professionals, when in fact it's the opposite. We are so exposed to loud sounds that we're actually in a greater risk zone than most people. We are the ones who should be especially careful with our hearing. There is no other workplace out there that would accept the same sound levels that we as sound engineers deal with every day without using hearing protection. Not even the musicians on stage. Most musicians these days protect their hearing with high quality isolated in-ear monitors. So the conclusion is this: if we as sound engineers don't protect our hearing at concerts louder than 91 decibel, then we can count on our hearing being affected. Today there are excellent hearing protectors that reduce sound levels without affecting the frequency curve too much. Molded earplugs are the way to go and probably the best investment you can make. Feel free to listen to the first or two songs of the concert without hearing protection to get the mix right. After that, you put your hearing protection on and you're good to go. But if we ignore these science-based facts, it only shows how irresponsible we are. No one is immune to loud sounds, especially not sound engineers or musicians like you and me. If you want a long career as a sound engineer, this is the only way to go, or you will end up with hearing damage. And you know what? It's never too late to start finding new approaches to mix safely and protect your hearing for the long term. And if you do end up with hearing loss or tinnitus, there are still ways forward, even if it's more challenging. This channel is all about how to navigate tinnitus and hearing loss as a sound engineer or musician. If this resonates with you, hit that subscribe button, the like button and the notification bell. And please write in the comments. If you have any questions or personal experience to share, go ahead. The more we talk about this, the better chance we have of creating a world where we can keep working with music and sound even when it's not always easy. I'm truly grateful you watched this far. That means you are taking yourself and your hearing seriously, and that you want to do something about it. And for now, breathe, relax, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao.